I took, and they were all within one.
So much, very awful. No.
What will it take for Congress to act on climate? People like you. At Citizens Climate, everyday people are taking meaningful actions to build political will for climate solutions in Congress. But to keep going, we need your support. Since 2007, Citizens Climate has done one thing: make Congress act on climate change. We combine thousands of grassroots advocates with a nimble DC team that works directly with lawmakers. We are nonpartisan, evidence-based, and highly respected in Congress for our work. Our value of nonpartisanship has existed since the founding of our organization. Even as polarization grows, we've stuck to our principles. For more than 15 years, we've put real effort into building good relationships with members of Congress on both sides of the aisle. This makes us uniquely suited to have an impact on today's political environment. We're building momentum in this Congress and laying the foundation for the next one. In the last 3 Congresses, we helped pass 8 climate bills. We have a high success rate of passing the bills that we work on, no matter who is in charge. We also help hold the line on climate and clean energy. Members of Congress and their staff on both sides of the aisle come to us for help. They trust our evidence-based approach to policy, and they know the grassroots support that we bring is real, broad, and powerful enough to move climate legislation forward. New climate champions are stepping up. Even in tough moments, we're opening doors and shifting minds. But climate change and clean energy are still polarizing topics. That makes our work harder and more important than ever. As one of the only grassroots climate groups focused on Congress, we need your help to make sure we're successful. Every dollar you donate goes directly to support our mission. We'll use it to strengthen support in Congress for climate and clean energy policies. Your donation fuels our core work so that we can get good climate laws passed in Congress. We can't afford to wait. We can't solve climate change without your help. Visit cclusa.org/donate to support our work.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Welcome to CCL's monthly national call. I'm Allison Cabisco. I am not Flannery Winchester. She will be here in just a moment. But as she jumps on, let us get started. Please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat so we can all see each other and welcome each other, and let us know where you're joining from and how many folks are there with you. You can also use the link in the chat to log your attendance today so that we know that you are here. So thanks for being with us on the call this month, and we'll get started with some highlights.
And Allison, speaking of being here I am.
Yes, fantastic.
Apologies for that. I'm hotspotting from my phone. My Wi-Fi just decided it's been a long year. I guess the Wi-Fi is done.
Well, we're glad you're here, and I'll hand it over to you.
All right, thanks for getting us started. So as we're sharing the national highlights, please put your own local highlights in the chat and we'll read a few of those out after our national updates. And I'll introduce myself for anyone who is not familiar with me. I'm Flannery Winchester. I'm CCL's Vice President of Marketing and Communications. So thanks, Allison, for getting us started. Okay, so for national highlights. We had our fall virtual conference on November 14th and 15th, and we welcomed over 800 unique attendees, plus more who tuned in with their chapters at watch parties all around the country. We heard from CCL's interim executive director, Ricky Bradley, who shared about our updated strategy as we head into 2026. We heard from some DC folks with great insight into the climate and clean energy landscape, former Special Assistant to President Biden for clean energy implementation, and Zion Sears, Legislative Assistant to Representative Scott Peters of California. And we had some fantastic breakout sessions on carbon pricing, the Fix Our Forests Act, taking and using great photos for our climate advocacy. And we also had a preview of our new bridge advocacy program that will kick off next year. So all of those recordings are available at cclusa.org/presentations. Thanks to everyone who joined us live for that event. And for anyone who couldn't make it, be sure to check out those recordings for anything that you missed. And then after our conference, starting November 17th, we had our fall virtual lobby week. So our volunteers held 336 meetings. Most of them were in that week, but some have gone through to December. And we were using asks and info sheets and training provided by CCL's national staff. And 336 meetings, that's really, really amazing considering the fact that the government was shut down from October 1st to November 12th when volunteers were working to schedule all of those meetings. So thankfully, we had insights from Jen and our government affairs team to understand exactly how offices were handling that time period. And so we knew that despite the official shutdown, most congressional staff were still working and were still accepting meeting invitations. So we were able to proceed with our lobbying. And I think it's a good lesson that despite the challenges of today's political landscape, when our CCL staff in DC and CCL volunteers out in the field work together, we're still able to conduct our work with Congress and be really effective at it. And as Jen said during our November conference, our advocacy is seen on Capitol Hill, it's valued, and it's working. So thank you to everyone who participated in one of those meetings. Later in the call, we'll actually hear from some of you directly about your lobby day experiences. And to support those lobby meetings, we also had a call-in campaign focused on permitting reform, which was one of our primary asks. So using an action tool set up by CCL National, volunteers generated an additional 987 calls on top of our 336 lobby meetings. So Congress heard us loud and clear that it's not just the folks in the meetings who care about these issues. It's actually hundreds more people in their communities who want to see climate solutions advance. So thanks to everyone who made a call and helped amplify our message. And last but not least, since our monthly meeting in October, we've had another exciting national highlight. We've seen the Fix Our Forests Act hit another big legislative milestone. On October 21st, this bill passed the Senate Agriculture Committee with a strong bipartisan vote of 18-5. So for any new folks not familiar with this bill, I'll just give you some quick background. So US forests currently offset 12% of our country's climate pollution, but wildfires are getting worse. The area burned by wildfires in America has more than doubled in the past 30 years. So we need to reduce wildfire risk and make forests more resilient so they can keep doing their important job of removing climate pollution from the air. So that's what's motivating us to work so hard to advance the Fix Our Forests Act and why we were really excited to see it reach this recent milestone of passage by the Agriculture Committee. So in the lead up to that committee markup, volunteers made 2,022 calls to committee members. And at the staff level, we signed a national coalition letter to Senate leadership in support of the bill. So we joined organizations like American Conservation Coalition Action, Bipartisan Policy Center Action, the International Association of Fire Chiefs, and many more. And then also in October, we launched a local media initiative in support of this bill when we were specifically focused on states with senators on that agriculture committee. So, with guidance from our communications and our government affairs staff, volunteers published letters to the editor and op-eds in California, Minnesota, Colorado, and other key states. And in one state, actually, the senator's office saw a CCLer's op-ed in the local newspaper, and the senator's staff reached out to schedule a meeting with those volunteers and CCL's government affairs staff to talk about the bill. So that's pretty cool. We know they're paying attention. And then, as soon as the committee vote was scheduled for October 21st, our government affairs staff put out a call for volunteers to generate local endorsement letters from trusted messengers. So CL staff put together endorsement letter templates for each state that chapters could personalize and submit to their senator's office. And our state coordinators worked with their chapters to get those letters signed and sent to the Senate offices. And then the chapters alerted our government affairs staff when they sent the letters so that Jen and her team could follow up with the senators and their staff and keep the conversation going on Capitol Hill. So after all of that mobilization, all of that incredible work, the bill passed the committee with a strong bipartisan vote of 18-5. And I love this story of this mobilization and wanted to take a little more time to go into it because I think it underscores just how meaningful it is for us to work together in a coordinated way. There's just no way that our individual voices could break through and make change like that if we were all acting alone. But with this kind of coordinated national where we have well-informed staff partnering with motivated local volunteers like you, we really can move the needle in Congress on behalf of climate solutions. So big thank you to everyone who played a role in that impressive mobilization ahead of the successful committee vote. And just a quick reminder, all of these legislative updates, our lobby meeting numbers, the milestone of committee passage, all of that will be added to our 2025 policy roadmap as we get to the end of the year. So now we'll go to some of your local highlights. What have we got here? I see Huntsville, Alabama is holding a year in review Zoom party to bring your look at your photos and reflections and create a slide deck for future years so you can look back at 2025. Very smart. Love that. Bellevue, Washington had a bunch of their LTE submissions published. Fantastic work. New Jersey members just had another lobby meeting with their representative this week. Great. Virtual lobby meetings with Representatives Chu, Gomez, Friedman, LTEs published in the LA Times. You guys have been busy. Illinois West Suburban Cook County had a face-to-face meeting with their representative. Nice work. Fantastic. And then I know some other things that we've heard from group leaders lately. The Fresno, California chapter had some young people in their lobby meetings. That's great. Members of Congress are always kind of extra attuned to those young voices and those fresh faces. A new chapter starting at University of Georgia. Fantastic. Well, thank you everyone for sharing all of that and for everything that you're doing to move climate action forward out in the field. As a reminder, keep sending us your pictures of what you're up to out in the field. You can email them to marketing@citizensclimate.org. You might see them in the pre-call video in a future month. All right. So, since this is our December meeting, we also felt it was appropriate to zoom out and take a look back at our highlights, not just from this month, but also from the whole year of 2025, because it's been an incredibly busy year of climate advocacy. We've advanced climate policy opportunities. We've also worked really hard to defend past progress from some of the deepest cuts. So we've created a CCL Wrapped video to reflect on and celebrate all of our collective efforts in 2025. And if you're not familiar, it's the same general idea as Spotify's Wrapped, but in our case, it uses data from CCL's Action Tracker. So your personalized video will show and celebrate both our national achievements together and some of your personal stats from your advocacy efforts this year. So the number of times that you personally contacted Congress or attended a group meeting like this, and more. So I'll show you a little teaser right now. Let's see here. All right. So you can open it up, and the short link is cclusa.org/2025. The link is also in the action sheet. But you'll open up on the first screen here your 2025 CCL summary. And if you're not logged in to CCL Community, you'll see this little nudge here to log in so that you can see your personalized summary. Even if you're not logged in, you will still see our national stats, but you want to log in for the best experience. And so when you get to this page, it will automatically flip through and it will show you things like our total outreach to Congress this year, our grassroots outreach numbers and some pictures from the field, our lobby meetings, and our annual group photo on the steps of Capitol Hill. There's our 2025 lobby day picture from the summer. And there's so much more, but I don't want to spoil it by showing you everything. So I'm going to stop there. But please do head to cclusa.org/2025 to and log in and check out your 2025 summary. All right, and as I mentioned in the highlights section, in the past few weeks, we've held over 330 lobby meetings as part of our virtual fall lobby days. So thank you again to everyone who participated, taking the trainings, attending the fall conference to get ready, helping with meeting planning, and actually holding the meetings. And I want to give a special thank you to CCL state coordinators, liaisons, and group leaders for helping to organize your lobby teams, and also to my colleagues on CCL's government affairs staff for all their hard work putting together the most strategic asks and effective talking points for the lobby meeting materials. And if you've been to a summer conference and lobby day in DC, you may recall during the lobby day reception, we invite volunteers on stage to share their experience from the day. So we're going to recreate that moment now virtually. We've put together a compilation of lobby day reflections submitted by volunteers. So let's hear from some of you now about how it felt to lobby together this fall.
Hi, my name is Alyssa, and I'm from West Jordan, Utah. This fall lobby week was my first time lobbying, and I had a really great experience. I was pleasantly surprised by how open my legislators' offices were to receiving our message, and I felt like lobbying was a very impactful and tangible way to apply my passion for climate action. My lobbying teams also made the process super manageable, even as a first-timer, and it was great to share the experience with fellow CCL volunteers who just want to create positive change for our climate and our community.
Teams that I was involved with were a joy to work with because they were so well trained, and they felt, I think, comfortable talking about our asks.
This week, I did something that I've never done before. I was a lobbyist with the CCL in talking about permitting reform with our representative. I am so glad that I did it. I had a lot of anxiety about not having enough information, not being knowledgeable enough on permitting reform. But CCL actually prepares you a great deal for the topic. And the team was wonderful, and it felt really good to be part of the core mission of CCL. I hope that if you are asked, that you do the lobbying.
Hello, this is John Pallone with the Birmingham chapter, and I'm here to report that I had a pretty good overall experience, and I wasn't sure exactly what to expect. Knew going in that we weren't going to see Representative Sewell, or not very likely anyway. It was going to be one of her staffers, and the staffer we did see was really nice and engaged, and seemed like a good guy overall. And we were able to have you connect with him on a few other levels too, besides talking about climate. Talked about some side projects that his office has going on as well. Maybe able to make some connections there. I think it was pretty useful, and just to be able to get the mindset of where my elected representative is coming from, as well as their staff. So yeah, I think it was a good experience, and I certainly hope to be at the lobby day in summer in real life in Washington, D.C.
I'm on the Presbyterian Action Team. With their support, I recruited new members from our church. And so we had 8 members of the lobby team 4 were from my church. 3 of them were new members and new lobbyists, and it worked well. And I think that that shows how it can be helpful with this by having an intersection and synergy between the action teams, the local chapters, and the lobby programs.
Hi, my name is Shamyuddin Takurti, and I'm a volunteer with the Middle Tennessee chapter of CCL. I volunteered for the first time last week, and it was an incredible experience. As an appreciator, I was not only able to learn more about my member of Congress and staffer, but I got to work with my community of climate activists towards preparing for lobby meetings. CCL's training made it exciting, rewarding, and much less daunting than I was expecting it to be. Thank you, CCL, for providing me with such an enriching opportunity.
It's a great experience for CCL members to be in this. It makes them feel like they're even more powerful, that they're really doing something.
Hello, my name is Sister Ann Shook, and I reside in Billings, Montana. Well, I have been faithful these past 10 years to monthly meetings, making phone calls to our congressmen regarding environmental issues. I never had the courage to lobby, but a fellow volunteer helped take the fear out of it. So recently, I, along with other CCL volunteers from my district, had a virtual lobby session with my congressman's staff about the need for bipartisan comprehensive permitting reform. While it was quite a stretch for me, I was inspired by the other lobbyists and learned so much. It was a wonderful experience. I strongly believe that change for and healing of our current climate crisis is possible when we educate, advocate, and work together for a healthy climate. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sandy Wellgreen. I'm a wife, mother, and grandmother. I'm also a physician with almost 5 decades of experience. I live in Helena, Montana. Recently, I had the wonderful experience of lobbying our congressman's office. I learned a tremendous amount in the preparation for our meeting, and I particularly enjoyed the good faith discussion with the congressman's office. I worry a lot about the environment. I want my children and grandchildren to have clean water and a healthy environment with clean air and a tolerable climate. Citizens Climate Lobby allows me to lobby our legislatures for common sense, nonpartisan solutions. This gives me hope for our future.
We had a ton of first-time lobbyists, and we really try to use the virtual lobby week as a way to get people in for the first time, especially newer members. And that was sort of kind of unanimous across Illinois. A bunch of really great meetings, and having all the new people in those meetings really helped.
Hello, my name is Susan Schremser, and I'm from Bainbridge Island, Washington. Recently, I had the opportunity to attend my first meeting. At the meeting, our lobbyists emphasized our concerns and urgency regarding the importance of the permitting process. At the close of the meeting, we asked how our chapters could best support us during these unusual times with regard to climate action, and specifically within her district. All in all, I found the chapter's meeting preparations collaborative and the actual meeting handled in a very professional manner, with the aim to make the most of their limited time with our representative.
My name is Jeff Briggs. I'm based in Jefferson City, Missouri, and I have recently joined the Citizens Climate Lobby. And I got a chance recently to participate in some lobbying with a couple of my congressional representatives. I appreciate the opportunity to do it. I was kind of nervous about it at first because I'd never done this before. It was a positive experience. I think it's important for these legislators to know that there are large groups of people that think the climate is important, and we are going to continue to encourage them to act in the best interest of the climate. So I appreciate CCL for making these opportunities available to us. It's a good experience for me, and I hope to continue to do more of this in the future.
So wonderful. Big round of applause to everyone who shared and who participated in a lobby meeting. What shines through to me about that is just how much CCL's values of respect and appreciation extend not just to how we approach our lawmakers, but actually how you all interact with each other and how you appreciate your fellow volunteers and lift each other up. So beautiful to see. And as one of the volunteers in the video mentioned, we'll have more chances to lobby coming up in 2026. So I hope you feel inspired to join your local CCL lobby team next time around. All right, well, next up, I am honored to introduce Carolyn Weaver, CCL Development Officer and one of our newest staff members. She's going to give us an update on CCL's year-end fundraiser. Welcome, Carolyn.
Great. Thanks, Flannery. Hi, everyone. I'm Carolyn Weaver, a Development Officer on the fundraising team. I am new to Citizens Climate, and I am thrilled to be part of this incredible community of people who not only care deeply about the climate, but who show up consistently, strategically, and with heart to really make a difference. For the past 10 years, I have worked in environmental nonprofits here in Austin, Texas, and I am so excited to now focus my career in advocacy and work alongside passionate colleagues and supporters to build the political will for climate solutions. So before I share information about our year-end fundraiser, I want to share first how grateful we are for everything you contribute. Whether you volunteer a few hours a month or many hours a week, your time and commitment are what gives Citizens Climate our strength. Every meeting, every conversation, and every action you have moves this work forward. We see it and we appreciate it. Okay, so now I'd like to share some things about where we stand with the campaign. As many of you probably already know, this is one of only 2 national fundraisers that we hold each year, and it plays a huge role in powering all of the work you do. Our goal this year is to raise 1.25 million by December 31st, and as of today, we have raised 56% of that goal. Grassroots donations make up a huge part of our budget, about 90% for CCL and 77% for CCE. And most of the people who give are also active volunteers, many of which I'm sure are on this call today. These funds make everything possible. The trainings you attend, the tools you use, the staff support you rely on, your prep sheets for lobbying meetings, your templates for media work, and your tabling and outreach materials all rely on the infrastructure that grassroots donations provide. So this year, we hope everyone will participate in our year-end fundraiser in a way that feels right to them. We are encouraging every volunteer to do 2 things. First, make a personal donation, if possible, in any amount that feels meaningful to you. And second, invite others to join you in giving. Starting with a personal gift matters because it sends a very clear message that this work is worth investing in. Volunteers already give so much, but a financial contribution at any level shows that you truly believe in this approach. People are far more likely to give when someone they know has already made their own donation as well. So there are several ways to support the campaign. You could send an email to a few family members or friends explaining why CCL's work matters to you and inviting them to join you in donating. You could host a Facebook fundraiser, which is a very simple and effective. You just share a few words about your story, and then Facebook will automatically promote your fundraiser to your friends. Or you could try a Pledge It challenge. And so Pledge It is a platform that lets you tie donations to a personal goal, like miles run, hours volunteered, or puzzles solved, which is actually an active campaign right now run by our wonderful Vice President of Marketing Communications, Flannery, if you want to go check that out and support her. And you can even form a team so that your chapter can fundraise together. You can find example social media posts, email templates, and a detailed Pledge It guide that walks you through how to set up your own pledge campaign in our fundraising toolkit on Community. So whether you can give, fundraise, or simply help us spread the word, your participation makes a real difference. With just over 2 weeks left in our campaign, we are asking you to please engage and help us meet our goal. We know how much you already give through your time and commitment, and we're so grateful. Your financial support, no matter the amount, adds another layer of strength to this movement. It keeps all of our volunteers well trained, well supported, and our programs thriving and our voices strong in Congress. So thank you so much for your time and for considering a year-end gift. Please feel free to email me at development@citizensclimate.org with any additional questions. I'm always happy to connect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carolyn. We appreciate you and the whole development team for everything you do to support CCL's work. All right, now let's jump into our actions for December. So you can find the action sheet and follow along at cclusa.org/action sheet. And first up, we're going to take our live action together around the Fix Our Forests Act this month. So as I shared at the top of the call, Healthy forests are a key part of the climate puzzle, and they've been a big part of our advocacy in 2025. So the Fix Our Forests Act passed that Senate Agriculture Committee vote in October, as we talked about earlier. And now the next step is for this bill to come to the Senate floor for a full vote. So we're going to take a few minutes today to help add to the momentum. Go ahead and pull up cclusa.org/live-action to find our action tool. You can type in that link, or you can scan the QR code here on the slide with your smartphone. So we're going to take 3 minutes to complete the action together. And this action is for everyone. Everyone can write to their senator to encourage them to support the bill when it comes up for a vote. The action tool has a tailored message appropriate for at least one of your senators based on their history with the bill and the information that will be most persuasive for them. So it's for everybody. Everybody can do this action, but I will give a special shout out to the volunteers tuning in today from South Dakota, Wyoming, and New York. If you're in those states, you have a senator who is in a Senate leadership role, which means that your senators are the ones who are actually responsible for determining if and when the Fix Our Forests Act comes to the floor for a vote. So when you go into the action tool, you'll see that we've prepared a template message tailored specifically to your senators that encourages them to bring the bill to the floor. And everyone else has a message about supporting the bill once it gets to the floor. And one more thing before I send you off to do this action. If you have already sent your senators a message about this bill in the last few weeks, then you can take the conversation public by turning to our local media resources. So our comm staff and government affairs staff have worked together to put together the most relevant and persuasive state-specific messaging that you can be using with your senators right now, depending on where you live. And you can use that messaging to write a letter to the editor or even an op-ed and publish it in your local newspaper. So if you've already sent a message directly to your senator, we'll put some media resources in the chat that you can look at to plan the next step of your advocacy around this bill. All right, so we will go into our 3-minute action now. All right, thanks for taking that action. And now I'll whip through a few other December actions from our December action sheet. So, in addition to supporting our year-end fundraiser this month and reflecting on your 2025 advocacy with your Wrapped video that we've already touched on today, we've also got an action for you to take a look at our strategic plan that we debuted last month during the fall conference. So we want you to take a look through this strategic plan on your own or with your group this month so that you can start to get your head around some of what you'll see coming from CCL in 2026. You'll see information about our unique role as an organization, our theory of change, how we're actually going to make change happen, and some of our strategic goals that will inform and improve our programs next year. We've got some discussion prompts in the action sheet that you can think about while you're soaking it all in, so definitely take a look at that. Something else you'll find in the December action sheet is a communications exercise that helps you practice how to ask someone to support CCL during the year-end fundraiser. As Carolyn mentioned, one way to support us toward our big year-end goal is to reach out to friends and family, and this exercise shows how to do that authentically and respectfully. And lastly, remember to save the date for the next big CCL events and lobby days coming in 2026. Our conservative conference and lobby day will be virtual this year, taking place April 18th and 21st. And our summer conference and lobby day will be July 26th through the 28th in Washington, D.C. And now let's continue looking ahead to 2026 and beyond with our interim executive director, Ricky Bradley. And as you can imagine, Ricky is very busy these days. He's currently attending our Q4 board meeting, but he wanted to make sure that he shared his message with you today. So we're going to play his recorded remarks.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you in person today, but at this very moment, I'm representing you and our staff in our end-of-year board meeting. But I'm thankful for the opportunity to be in both places today. As we close out 2025, I want to begin with gratitude. Not the thin, polite kind that checks a box, but the deeper kind that comes from knowing how much this community has supported me, our staff, and even one another through a difficult year for climate advocacy. And we've watched thousands of you show up for weekly, monthly, and annual events. You've shown up in living rooms and district offices, in church basements, libraries, and coffee shops, and sometimes on Zoom from your kitchen tables after a very long day of work and family. That choice to show up matters. It reflects care for your neighbors, responsibility to your communities, and a belief that this country works best when citizens take ownership of its future. Now, because of you, the momentum for practical climate solutions like permitting reform and carbon pricing is closer to being politically possible. And that doesn't happen by accident. It happens when trust is built, norms shift, and leaders see that supporting solutions is not a risk, but a responsible act of leadership. Now, this is the slow, steady work of participating in our democracy. And you are doing it. We often say that politicians don't create political will, they respond to it. And this year, you created it, and that work mattered. As we look ahead, 2026 will be a turning point for CCL. We are stepping into a more intentional, disciplined, and empowering chapter of our advocacy. Our strategic plan calls us to deepen our roots and widen our bridges, and it asks us to strengthen two things that hold everything else together: mission alignment and an investment in people. When those are strong, movements endure. When they weaken, even good causes can lose their way. Now, mission alignment is not about narrowing. It's about being clear about who we are and how we serve. We know we cannot be everything to everyone, but we can be excellent at what is uniquely ours: building political will for climate solutions through respectful, nonpartisan, relationship-based advocacy. Now, clarity is stewardship. I like Brene Brown. She says, being clear is kind. When people know the mission, they can lead with confidence, act with integrity, and trust that their efforts are contributing to something much larger than themselves. Thanks to your feedback in February, We will roll out a revised and clearer mission statement and our policy commitments. And then late March and early April, we will adopt a partnership model that helps every volunteer and every staff member understand how their work fits into the whole and how we relate to one another. Now, the second pillar is investing in the people who make CCL what it is. We know that healthy movements don't treat people as foot soldiers. They treat them as partners. They don't rely on fear, tactics to force people into action or even to donate. They cultivate ownership, responsibility, and mutual respect. When people are trusted and equipped, they rise to the occasion. They solve problems. They build bridges. And here's the key: they earn credibility in places that traditional advocacy often cannot reach. That's why in the year ahead, we are launching the Bridge Relational Advocacy Program. That's a lot. Just call it Bridge for short. Bridge will be the foundation of our volunteer development strategy and all of our programs going forward. Bridge will help volunteers understand moral psychology, behavioral science, and how ideas and change spread through trusted networks. We will learn about our own moral instincts, our own biases, and how moral reframing works, how to listen through motivational interviewing, and how to map and activate relationships. This is not being done to win arguments. We are not doing this work to win a debate or to dunk on our opponents. It's about earning trust, honoring differences, and helping people see how the climate solutions that we want align with the values they already hold: responsibility, freedom, fairness, care, respect for future generations. We will also measure our impact differently, not only by counting actions, but by strengthening relationships, activating trusted messengers, and engaging communities that aren't traditionally in the climate conversation. This strategic clarity also supports our policy work. In 2026, we aim to bring the Fix Our Forests Act and a permitting reform package across the finish line. These bipartisan efforts improve resilience, reduce emissions, and more importantly, demonstrate that our institutions can still function when citizens lead with good faith, when we're calling in lawmakers who, with our help, respond. Now, at the same time, the first half of this year will be devoted to laying the groundwork for a fresh approach to our carbon pricing advocacy. We believe that solving climate change will ultimately require a price on pollution. Our responsibility in 2026 is not to force that outcome, but to prepare the ground, to engage new messengers, to widen coalitions, and ultimately to make it safer for leaders to step forward when the moment comes. So why does this moment matter right now for CCL? In the story of every enduring movement, there comes a moment when people shift from counting how many are in the crowd or measuring how something is polling to strengthening the roots beneath their feet. We are at that moment. We are at that moment. This is a year to deepen, to train, to align, and to prepare for breakthroughs ahead. Yes, there'll be breakthroughs ahead. Let's prepare for those. When everyday people choose to build bridges instead of walls, they create a kind of moral gravity. They remind a nation that responsibility and compassion can coexist, and that freedom and fairness are not opposites, and that caring for what we inherit and what we pass on is a shared moral duty. Thank you for the care you bring to this work. Thank you for your commitment to your community, your respect for differences, and your belief that democracy works best when citizens stay engaged. So as we step into 2026, let's do so ready to grow, ready to align, and ready to build the political will our climate future deserves. Thank you, and we'll see you in the new year.
Thank you to Ricky for that wonderful message. And thank you all for being here with us for this month's meeting. We will see you next month and next year for our January monthly meeting on Saturday, January 10th. All of us on CCL staff wish you a wonderful holiday season. Hope you get the chance to slow down, spend some time with loved ones. We'll now close out the call with some CCL TV. Thanks, everyone. Illinois, West Suburban Cook County. Hey, folks. Hello. Bellevue, Washington. Hey, everybody. Lynchburg, Virginia. Thanks for being here. Hey there, Pasadena. Pasadena Foothills. Northeast Tennessee. Hey, my old stomping ground. I'm from Middle Tennessee. It's great to see y'all. Iowa City. Hey there. What you got? Bring it closer. I can't see. Oh. North Carolina Central and Cape Fear region. Hey, everybody. CCL Portland. Thanks for being here. All right, we got North Carolina. Okay, this one just says Carol, but this is more than just Carol. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. CCL San Mateo. You guys are checked out. Love it. Birmingham, Alabama. Hey, guys. Hello. Atlanta, Georgia. That's Steve Balk, I see. Henry Black. Hey, y'all. Very festive. All right, Whidbey Island, Washington. Hello, hello. Arizona Valley. Hey. Thanks for tuning in. All right, this one just says Rob. It's more than just Rob. Got a room full. Hey, everyone. Hi, Mitch. Thanks for tuning in. Debbie. Hey, Debbie. Michelle, thanks for being here. Ellie. Hey, Ellie. All right. Thank you to everybody who has tuned in for our December call. Have a great holiday season. We will see you in the new year.